This is the story of the most celebrated baseball player on the planet.
And this guy. Oh my gosh! Shohei Ohtani!
Shohei Ohtani arrives and the star, headed a superstar baseball player.
Ohtani obliterated!
A man who signed the largest contract in American sports history, won 3 MVP awards, helped his team win 2 World Series titles, and somehow became the center of one of the most bizarre financial scandals the sport has ever seen. Shohei Ohtani is by almost every measure untouchable.
For Shohei Ohtani!
This is right now the best show in sports and the thing you don't want to miss. You're going to tell your grandkids.
Before we get into the controversies, you need to understand how extraordinary this man's rise actually was. Because the bigger the star, the more there is to lose, and the more people pay attention when things go sideways. Shohei Ohtani was born on July 5th, 1994 in Japan. His father played baseball for a semi-pro team at a local Mitsubishi plant. His mother was a competitive badminton player. Sports were basically in his blood from birth. By 2012, he was already being drafted, not into MLB, but into Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League. The Nippon Ham Fighters selected him first overall, even though there was a real chance he wouldn't sign. He had already told teams he wanted to go straight to the major leagues. The fighters made him a promise: play for us for a few years and we'll let you do something no other team in Japan was willing to let you do: pitch and hit. And he agreed, and from 2013 to 2017, playing in Japan, he won the 2016 Japan Series and became the first player in Nippon professional baseball history to receive the Best 9 award as both a pitcher and a hitter in the same season. He then came to the major leagues in 2018 with the Los Angeles Angels. What followed was arguably the most remarkable individual run in the history of the sport. By the time he left the Angels after the 2023 season, he had won the AL Rookie of the Year in 2018, won 3 unanimous MVP awards, was a 5-time All-Star, and in 2023 alone, while doing both jobs, he batted .435 with Team Japan and struck out Mike Trout of Team USA to win the World Baseball Classic. Some people compared him to Babe Ruth, and that comparison is not as crazy as it sounds. This is the man at the center of our story, possibly the most unique talent in baseball history, a global icon, and it turns out, someone with a pattern of being burned by the people closest to him. On December 11th, 2023, Ohtani signed a contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers. 10 years, $700 million, the largest contract in American sports history, and it wasn't even close.
The largest baseball contract in the history of the MLB.
The 2024 MLB season opened not in a stadium in the United States, but in Seoul, South Korea. The Dodgers and San Diego Padres played a special series there, and Ohtani was there, the biggest star in the game. On March 20th, 2024, one day into the season, a story dropped that changed everything. Lawyers for Ohtani released a statement. Their client had been the victim of a massive theft. The Dodgers' longtime Japanese language interpreter, a man named Ippei Mizuhara, had allegedly been stealing millions of dollars from Ohtani's bank account, all to cover astronomical gambling debts. Ohtani's statement through a new interpreter was, "To summarize how I'm feeling right now, I'm beyond shocked. It's really hard to verbalize how I'm feeling at this point." He fired Mizuhara the same day. Now, who is Ippei Mizuhara? And how did this happen? Mizuhara has been at Ohtani's side since day one. He signed with the Angels in 2018 and came with them. And for 6 years, this man was Ohtani's voice, his translator, his connection to the English-speaking world. Because Ohtani didn't speak English, Mizuhara wasn't just an interpreter, he was the person Ohtani trusted with his daily life, his bank accounts, his password, his financial transactions. Other interpreters who worked in the MLB have explained that this is not unusual. A former interpreter for the Mets and Giants described the role: "I had to assist the players on just about every aspect of their daily lives. These include opening bank accounts, taking them to the DMV to get licenses, and setting up utilities. I also carried their checkbooks on the road for clubhouse duties." Here's the timeline of what actually happened. In September 2021, at a poker game involving players and coaches for the Los Angeles Angels, an illegal bookmaker named Mike spotted Mizuhara on his phone, placing what appeared to be sports bets. Mike introduced Mizuhara to his boss, a man named Matthew Boyer, an Orange County bookmaker who at his peak had about 1,000 clients, dozens of agents working for him, and millions of dollars moving every week. Mizuhara immediately started betting with Boyer and immediately started losing a lot. Between December 2021 and January 2024, over roughly 2 years, Mizuhara placed approximately 19,000 individual bets. Prosecutors tallied his total winnings to about $142 million. His losses, about $182 million. Net loss, more than $40 million. To pay for it, he was draining Ohtani's bank account. According to the criminal complaint, Mizuhara had direct access to Ohtani's accounts and transferred the money to himself. He wired nearly $17 million from Ohtani's account to associates of the bookmakers and more than 40 wire transfers. And to cover his tracks, he impersonated Ohtani on the phone with the bank on at least 24 occasions. Federal investigators obtained an audio recording of one of these calls. You can hear Mizuhiro claiming his name as Shohei Ohtani and claiming a $200,000 wire transfer. When the scandal broke publicly, Mizuhiro gave ESPN an interview and initially claimed that Ohtani knew about the debts and had agreed to pay them off. That story lasted in less than 24 hours. By the next day, he had completely reversed course, saying Ohtani was unaware of everything. "Obviously, this is all my fault," Mizuhiro said. "I'm ready to face all consequences." Ohtani held a press conference. He denied ever placing a sports bet. He denied ever meeting the bookmaker. He said, "I never agreed to pay off the debt or make any payments to the bookmaker." Then he took 0 questions from the media and walked away. See, MLB opened a formal investigation. The IRS Criminal Investigation Division, the Department of Homeland Security, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California all got involved. In June 2024, Mizuhiro pleaded guilty to 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of subscribing to a false tax return. On February 6, 2025, he was sentenced to 57 months in federal prison, just under 5 years. He was also ordered to pay $16 million in restitution to Ohtani and $1 million to the IRS. He began serving that sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Pennsylvania on June 17, 2025. He is expected to be deported to Japan when he gets out. Ohtani, by all official accounts, was cleared completely. The investigations found no evidence of his involvement. Here's where the story gets uncomfortable, because despite the official verdict, a lot of serious questions didn't get clean answers. Let's start with the most obvious one. Mizuhiro's story changed twice in 24 hours. First, he told ESPN that Ohtani knew and agreed to pay off the debts. Then hours later, he said Ohtani knew nothing. Federal prosecutors ultimately accepted the second version. But bank records viewed by ESPN showed Ohtani's name connected to 2 separate $500,000 payments, each labeled as a loan. There was also a deeper concern that analysts raised at one time, one that MLB did not discuss publicly. Mizuhiro had daily locker room access. He knew everything: who was injured, who was struggling, and who wasn't sleeping well. Professional hedge fund type bettors would want to know about that. That's truly actionable betting information. Whether any of that access was exploited for gambling purposes was never definitively answered. Then there's a pattern that some observers have pointed out. Ohtani has now been the subject of 2 major off-field controversies: the gambling scandal with Mizuhiro and the Hawaii real estate lawsuit involving his agent Nez Balelo. In both cases, the alleged wrongdoer is someone from Ohtani's inner circle. In both cases, Ohtani's team has suggested he may have been a victim who didn't know what was happening. You see, some observers believe Mizuhiro may have taken the fall to protect either Ohtani or the league, and the skeptics draw parallels to Pete Rose's gambling ban in the 1980s and the Black Sox scandal of 1919, both of which resulted in lifetime bans. The stakes for baseball's image couldn't have been higher. And it's worth being absolutely clear: Ohtani was found innocent by federal investigators. MLB cleared him. This is not a conviction. These are unanswered questions, not answered ones. But the questions exist and they haven't gone away. During his free agency in late 2023, Ohtani and his agents made a decision: absolute silence. Teams were warned that if any information got out about negotiation, Ohtani's camp would cut them out entirely. Then came June 2024, the mansion incident. Ohtani had purchased a $7.8 million home in Los Angeles. 2 Japanese media outlets, Fuji TV and Nippon TV, decided to cover the purchase in detail. Not just detail, they sent cameras to his neighborhood, aerial shots of the property, interviews with his neighbors, footage that essentially mapped out where he lived. This was not just invasive, it was potentially dangerous. Reportedly, Ohtani never moved into the new house. He was allegedly furious with his real estate representatives over the breach. By 2026, a new controversy had quietly taken shape. One less dramatic than gambling scandals and lawsuits, but one that cuts to the heart of what it means for baseball to be fair. Chicago Cubs manager Craig Counsell made headlines in early 2026 when he publicly criticized a specific MLB rule, what some have started calling the Ohtani rule. The rule allows a two-way player to stay in the game as designated hitter after existing as a pitcher, treating that player as 2 separate roster entities. The rule was created specifically because of Ohtani's existence. No other player in the modern game operates as a genuine two-way player at his level. The rule was, by design, built for one person. Ohtani's defenders have a point. The Cubs had the money to sign him too. They simply chose not to. And no rule gives the Dodgers an extra roster spot. Ohtani simply provides value no other player can. That's not Ohtani's fault, but it is Ohtani's reality. After everything, the gambling scandal, the massive contract, the lawsuits, the privacy walls, the rules written in his name, what do we actually know about who Ohtani is as a person? The people who know him best, teammates, coaches, and former Angels players, consistently describe him as a focused, professional, and kind. What's undeniable is this: Ohtani has now spent nearly a decade in American professional baseball as one of the most famous players in the sport, and he remains genuinely one of the most private figures in American public life. We know almost nothing about what he thinks, what he believes, or who he is when the cameras aren't on him. Here's what we know for certain. Ohtani is one of the greatest baseball players who has ever lived. He has won 3 MVP awards unanimously. He helped the Dodgers win 2 World Series. He achieved a historic 50-50 season in 2024, becoming the first player ever to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a single season. He is set to earn $100 million in endorsements in 2025 alone, more than any other player in Major League Baseball. His interpreter stole nearly $17 million from his bank account and is sitting in federal prison. His agent is being sued over a $240 million real estate deal in Hawaii. And in both cases, the argument was Ohtani knew nothing, that he was once again victimized by someone he trusted, or as some skeptics put it, a remarkably consistent pattern. What he is, without question, is the most fascinating and complicated figure in baseball right now. A man who has broken records, broken norms, and somehow through all of it kept playing at a level that makes you forget, at least for a few hours, that there's anything to question at all.